In every era, there are chains we can see and chains we cannot. The visible ones are easy enough to name. The clutter that crowds our tables, the possessions we hide in cupboards, the devices glowing late into the night. Yet the more dangerous chains lie deeper, woven into the very rhythm of our days, the silent habits that pull us away from ourselves, one small distraction at a time. Imagine, for a moment, a life that once felt full, alive with curiosity, softness, and purpose. Now picture that same life slowly tightening, thread by thread, until you find yourself living not with freedom, but with weight. A weight that never announces its arrival, yet always makes itself known. This is the modern captivity, subtle, relentless, and often invisible. Yet across the noise, there is a path. A rare path. Quiet, spare, almost ascetic in its simplicity, a path where you learn to place things down rather than pick them up. Extreme minimalism is not the stripping of life, but the unlocking of it. And as with any great journey, it begins not with a grand gesture, but with noticing. Noticing the habits that bind you. Noticing the spaces that shape you. Noticing the breath you rush through, the choices you make by reflex, the life you keep postponing. Today, we step into that path together, not as an escape from the world, but as a return to yourself. Because when you take away what distracts you, you discover what has been waiting beneath all along. This is the quiet art of unchaining your life. This is the moment you decide to live lighter, so you can live freer. There comes a moment in every life when the world grows strangely loud, not through sound, but through demands, small, insistent nudges that pull you in every direction except inward. Point 1 begins with recognizing that moment, the quiet breakaway. It is the first crack in the chains you have worn for so long that you barely feel their weight. This breakaway does not arrive with force. It arrives with observation. You begin to see the patterns that have tightened around you. The overflowing surfaces, the hurried mornings, the relentless drift toward just one more thing. And as you notice them, something remarkable begins to shift. You start choosing what deserves space and what merely occupies it. Extreme minimalism, at its core, is not about removal. It is about reclaiming authorship. When you step back from the noise, just for a moment, you allow clarity to rise like mist lifting from a still lake. You see your surroundings not as a prison of objects, but as a landscape waiting to be shaped with intention. This is your first act of freedom, the courage to pause, and the willingness to listen to what that pause reveals. Once you recognize the quiet breakaway, a gentle rhythm begins to take shape. It is not dramatic nor hurried. It is the rhythm of release, the steady, deliberate act of letting go, not of everything, only of what has quietly drained your energy without ever giving anything back. This rhythm mirrors the natural world. A tree does not cling to every leaf it has ever grown. It sheds what no longer serves the season it is entering. In the same way, you begin to recognize the subtle weight carried in objects, routines, and commitments that no longer reflect the person you are becoming. With each small release, the chains loosen, not through force, but through understanding. A shelf cleared, an unused item passed on, a habit set down with intention. These are not acts of loss. They are acts of alignment. Acts that bring your life into harmony with your values rather than your impulses. And as this rhythm settles into your days, something profound happens. You feel lighter. Perhaps for the first time in years, you can breathe without the pressure of more. The world becomes spacious again, not outside, but within. As the rhythm of release settles into your life, another shift begins, one far more subtle, yet far more powerful. You start to notice the shape of your days, not the tasks or the noise, but the spaces between them. This is the reclaiming of time, a moment when you realize that time was never taken from you. It was simply buried. Modern life scatters attention into fragments, leaving us convinced that we are busy, yet strangely untouched by the hours that pass. Extreme minimalism reverses this drift. When fewer distractions compete for your mind, time rises to the surface again, clear, unbroken, like sunlight touching still water. You begin to move through your routines with intention rather than momentum. Breakfast becomes a moment, not a blur. A walk becomes an encounter, not a commute. Even silence transforms from something to escape into something to treasure. And with this reclaiming, you discover a truth long forgotten. You are not chained to the pace of the world around you. You can choose a slower tempo, one where life feels lived rather than rushed, one where time is no longer slipping, but returning, hour by hour, breath by breath. When time returns to you, something else reveals itself, quietly, almost shyly. You begin to notice that not all choices hold the same weight. Some choices drain you, scattering your focus. Others ground you, aligning your day with clarity and calm. This is where extreme minimalism becomes more than a practice of the home. It becomes a discipline of the mind. The strength of simpler choices lies in their ability to remove friction from daily living. Instead of negotiating with countless possibilities, you begin selecting the few that genuinely support your well-being. A simpler wardrobe, a calmer morning, a clear surface where once there was clutter, it all forms a pattern of peace. These choices free your mental energy, redirecting it from decision fatigue toward presence and creativity. You begin to feel less pulled, less hurried, less tangled in expectations. And in this simplicity, a new strength emerges: steadiness. The ability to hold your ground in a world that constantly pushes for more. Here, in the midst of fewer choices, life no longer feels restricted. It feels refined. And refinement, not abundance, is what shapes a truly unchained life. In the vast expanse of human life, it is not the quantity of experiences we collect, but the quality we allow to permeate our consciousness that shapes our sense of being. Extreme minimalism teaches us to slow down, to step deliberately into moments rather than sprinting past them in a blur of distraction. Imagine a middle-aged person pausing at the edge of a quiet lake, feeling the cool water ripple over stones, or walking through an empty gallery where every object commands attention. Each act, carefully chosen, becomes a pulse of presence, a rhythm of meaning. This habit, the habit of measured experiences, is a form of liberation. It pulls us from the relentless tide of modern chaos, from the hollow seduction of accumulating more without comprehension. By consciously selecting how we spend our time, whom we engage with, and even which thoughts we entertain, we reclaim sovereignty over our inner world. The mundane becomes sacred, the ordinary, extraordinary. A single shared conversation, a carefully chosen book, a mindful walk in the fading light of dusk, these are no longer fleeting instances. They are deliberate investments in the richness of life, sculpting depth where previously there was only noise. Here, in the stillness of these measured moments, we confront the essence of our hollow era. The chains of mindless consumption and scattered attention dissolve, leaving clarity in their wake. Every experience is a lens, sharpening perception, illuminating what is truly valuable. By mastering this habit, we do not merely live. We inhabit our lives with purpose, wisdom, and a quiet, unshakable joy that cannot be purchased, borrowed, or imitated. Extreme minimalism, at its peak, is not about less for the sake of scarcity. It is about presence, precision, and the art of living fully, even in the smallest, most overlooked corners of existence. As the journey of extreme minimalist habits comes full circle, we realize that freedom is not found in adding more to our lives, but in the conscious art of choosing less. Less clutter, less distraction, less noise. Each ritual, each deliberate pause, each measured experience has shown us a path out of the hollow corridors of modern living, a route to inhabit our days with intention and depth. In this hollow era, where abundance often masks emptiness, these habits illuminate a quiet revolution, one where our inner world is no longer governed by the tyranny of excess, but by the sovereignty of mindful living. This is an invitation, a subtle nudge, to step further into your own journey. Explore more videos, playlists, and teachings on Serenityism, where the philosophy of extreme minimalism unfolds into practical, transformative guidance for the modern soul. Subscribe, engage, and immerse yourself in the pursuit of clarity, calm, and purpose. Let each choice you make be a step toward reclaiming your time, your focus, and your life itself. Because in the end, it is not merely about escaping the chains of consumerism. It is about awakening to a life fully felt, fully present, and profoundly yours.